Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Friday, September 8th, 2023. I'm going to get started here with our pre-market broadcast and start out looking at what happened yesterday. I think yesterday was a fairly easy day. Remember what we said coming into the open yesterday. We had a huge confluence of potential bullish signals, right? And we were also sitting, interestingly enough, finding support right off of our scaffolding level, right? So we had 44.34 quarter here in the overnight session just before the market opened. We held it. And then right after the market opened, we came right back down to make a double bottom right off of it and then begin this launch up, right? So we had all of our higher time frames, well, I should say our daily, our 4-hour, and our hourly charts giving potential signals for the bulls from this overnight low. And I told you that with all of that lining up, that was a clue for the market to bounce. There's no guarantee as to how far that bounce was going to get. And because the market has been so heavy and we're in a pretty strong bearish pullback right now, the bears could have jumped in at any one of our roadmap levels and knocked the market back down, right? So let's look here. Market open, we held the overnight low right off the scaffolding, one tick away from it, and popped up. So there was a great opportunity to get this long off the pullback of the 200 moving average, right? And then, again, not too interestingly enough, I mean, we just see this stuff happen over and over again. We came right to the VWAP after this first bullish bounce out of the open to find some trouble and then pull back again. And then here's probably the sexiest thing to happen here yesterday, and that was we came and tagged the scaffolding level a third time, only this time it actually touched it to the tick. And then that led to the remainder of the bullish push for the day. It didn't really get very far, but it was technically somewhat of a bullish morning because it did push. So there you go. You had a great opportunity to buy the pullback to the 200 to get long. Didn't really go very far. You probably got about 5, 6, 7, 8 points out of it, and then found trouble off VWAP. And then on the pullback here, if you were looking to get long off the 200 for expecting that continuation higher, it did pop, but again, failed right off the FMA, right in front of VWAP, and then continued to pull back. And then again, this tag right here of the scaffolding would have been a beautiful opportunity. And it was literally a straight line from our roadmap level here right to our next roadmap level up here at 44.52 half. I mean, it just doesn't get better than this type of stuff. You know, it just kind of travels back and forth. I always say this is like you're at a bowling alley and the market is kind of bouncing back and forth, just like a bowling ball would when you put those bumpers up on either side, right? It just kind of bumps. Let's see if I could draw it out, just back and forth from all of our critical levels here, right? So it comes up, finds resistance right off this level I marked in our pre-market session, and then comes down and holds VWAP. I mean, there's a great opportunity right there to go ahead and get long as the market found support off of our scaffolding again and pulled back to VWAP. Right, it wasn't even just VWAP, but it was the VWAP and the 200 coming into confluence right here. And then again, trouble off of our, wrong button there, trouble off our expected resistance zone, right? And it kind of consolidated right between VWAP and our expected resistance zone above. And then goes ahead and pops through, pulls back. Another opportunity here to go ahead and buy the VWAP and the low of the day before again. And then the high of the day was basically the holy orange power level. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than this. Even though the market was fairly choppy and didn't have a huge range yesterday, we basically nailed the low of the day to the tick. And again, this just happens over and over again. I'm sorry I'm on these crazy rotomontan days every morning, but it just blows me away. So we come up, you could have shorted the Hopel as we came into it on the first test and got yourself a nice 10-point pullback. I guess it was just short of 10 points there, 58.5 to 50, right? And then we test the Hopel, fail. We peek through the Hopel by just a couple ticks there and fail again. And then here's another opportunity to buy the pullback to the VWAP. Okay, so we talked about this trade. If you haven't watched the weekly webinars from this week and last week, I urge you to go back and watch them because we talk about these trades off of VWAP. So it's just kind of very prescient for me to do a weekly webinar and we talk about this trade. And then literally since our weekly webinar 2 weeks ago, we've seen these plays off VWAP over and over again. All right. So then at the end of the day, as you can see, just kind of chopped around, still could not really get through the holy orange power level. Right. So that brings us into the overnight session for today's market. And it just kind of chopped around. You can see we held 50% of the day before, tried to pop out, came back down below 50% of the day before and tagged it nearly to the tick to come down lower. Tagged it to the tick right here, which was also the 200 moving average, another play we like to talk about, and just kind of chopping around in some sideways price action right now, but still respecting these levels near and in some cases to the tick. All right. So let's go ahead and jump up to our higher time frames.